Okay, good evening, everybody.
Evening, coach.
Yeah, so we have
Evening.
a few people on the call. As usual, we have Prof. Mohammad. So again, I'm your host for tonight on Saturday night, every Saturday at 9 p.m. on the Ask the Experts platform. Um, Brought to you by PRKPP and also Fit Unit, where we actually combine, education. We center around health and wellness, especially mental, physical, body, mind, spirit, and yeah, we have been doing our. We did 18 sessions last year, so which is 2020. So we did our first one last week. So this is our second uh, week, and tonight's topic will be on making the right choices, right, Prof?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think, yeah, we are in the new year. We are looking to obviously, set some. We talk about setting resolution. We set goals and things like that. So this week is going to be going. I feel a bit deeper since now we are at the second week, coming third week of January, and now with the new rising cases of COVID-19, and we all stay at home safely, and hope you guys watching are also staying at home to practice SOP, and also hopefully to tune in to our sessions and join in and participate and comment, and share it with your friends. So let's start our topic tonight. And Yes, the floor is yours, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Felicia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good evening. Salam sejahtera to all. Once again, we meet tonight for sharing session with regard to our so-called psychology. I've been actually trying to get us to, understand psychology and subsequently for our self-development so that we can face our life and our daily livings in a better manner as compared to previously. So tonight, actually, I've decided to talk on making right choices. I think this is very important because quite a number of time I noticed that most of us, including myself, the choices that we make will have consequences, and the consequences can be positive and can also be negative. So let us then dwell into this topic, and then we have a question answer section after that. Let me just share with you my so-called slide. Okay, I need to get this disabled so that I can share. All right. Uh, okay, so this is my slide. I will share with you all. Okay, I hope you can see it. All right. First and foremost, with regard to this slide, this first slide indicate that actually in our life, we basically has so many areas, so many domains that we need to address, right? From the domain of self and the domain of people around us, the domain of life and living. So there are many areas. Here we can see that our own personal growth is one of the very important domain, our health, and then our family, our friends, social relationship, and our other significant others, including our romance and whatnot. And above the line, we can see that with regard to our career, with regard to our finance situation, with regard to our physical, social environment, and with regard to our fun and recreation. So basically, this slide will indicate that actually we need to create our so-called abundance in our life. So every domain must be addressed well. So you need to learn why you do what you do, and you have to push ahead to really understand yourself, to understand your qualities, and to guarantee that you are truly on the right path or on the right way of doing things. So this is very important. Until unless we realize this part of it that is with us, we discover ourselves. We have to discover ourselves early, and we have to discover ourselves again and again to relook at, review, monitor, and subsequently evaluate the outcome. So today is about psychology of choice. So you need to know, got a lot of question here, and you got a lot of areas that we have to actually look at. So this slide indicate that there is a psychology that goes behind the choices that we make, right? This is a slide indicating that what kind of a choice that we want to actually portray ourselves with regard to our everyday life and living. So there are many various expression that we can have for a day. The one that is very prominent is the smiling face, the one that appears to be happy, the one that appears to be at peace and without any much distress, as compared to the other faces that you can see there. So it is up to you what choice you want to for the day that you have, 24 hours, and subsequently from days to days, where you can actually decide what choice will that be for your mood and your emotions. So life actually presents with many choices, and that choices will make or determine your future. So remember, even a journey of 1,000 steps is always depend on each individual steps, each individual step that is successful. Obviously, your journey when you reach that 1,000 steps, it will become successful. So similarly with your life in future, your choices that you make, if it is all good choices, which give a good outcome, consequences, then obviously your future will be a better one. So here, if we see the psychology of winning, in the psychology of winning, you have two aspects or two primary choices that you can have in your life. That is either you just accept whatever the condition that exists, or actually you can be the one who is responsible for changing the condition. So for a person who wants to win in any situation or any area that they want to, so obviously they will be the one who actually try to accept responsibility to change the situation that they are in. So this is very important, the psychology of winning. And obviously, if you want to achieve good, you have to win in the battle of getting what you want. And people have three choices. You'll be surprised, some of us, at the end of the day, just watch things happen. So they don't do anything. They are just a bystander. They just look at things around them and they just passively watching what is going on. Or actually, they can make things happen. These are the active person who actually take the role and responsibility and create wonders. But some people completely they are not aware of anything. The only thing is that they become aware is when thing has already happened. So this is the situation that we can have the choices. So it's up to you what choices you want to make. And I believe most important thing is the second choices, the second choice that you have, that is make things happen, and you put the effort into it. And as you know, in any situation, whether in school or even in real world, you have the freedom of choice. You can make whatever choice that you want to, but always remember, you don't have the freedom of the consequence that will come with it. So think of that. If you have made some choices and the choices can be a good one, obviously the consequence should be a good one. But if the choices is a bad one, you know already that once it is made, you cannot actually prevent the consequence. So you don't have the freedom of determining how the consequence will be based on the choices you made. So this is a slide indicating that there is right way, there is wrong way. So there is your way, your my way kind of a thing. But you can go along with the right path, the right way. Maybe you can agree with that. Or your way can actually go to the left, to the wrong way, and you may get into trouble. It's very powerful here to indicate that where you want to be. Or even though you know that you have your own way, again, your own way, you must determine what kind of a consequence you want to be to achieve. Or in here, your choice will be either if you go for the foolish way, obviously the outcome will be that good. But if you go the wise way, then you get a better outcome, a better consequence, and here then make your life more in a way that's satisfying to you. And happiness will be one of the choice that you want to have. in every day. Either previously I asked you the question, or I try to tell you all about how to achieve peace with yourself, and with that peace you become tranquility, you become at ease, you become happy with yourself, you are satisfied with your life, so the quality of life will be much, much better. So it is a choice. So every morning you will have two options, either to do good or to do bad. So the choice is yours. And if you choose to do good, actually you have two options. You can do good to yourself and you can do good to others. But I would say you can have both the choices, both the options. Do good to yourself and also do good to others, because that will make you feel good with yourself, and that is also will make you good to others, and it will come back, reciprocate your goodness, and you will get the so-called whatever the resultant from your goodness to others will come back to you when you feel good about it. And by doing so, actually you're building your inner world, and you're also building the external world with people around you. So to do that, most important is you really need to know yourself. You need to study yourself, and to study yourself is actually to look at how you do things, how you act, how you behave. When you are behaving with people around you, that will give you some idea what goes on, the way who you are, and your belief, your values, and the way you look at things, your perception. So it is shown in a way, your action or your behavior. So all of us need to know ourselves. Until unless we actually clear about ourselves, only then we can make improvement, or we can actually further enhance the goodness that we have. So these are the important slides here. So there are 7 ways to make good choices. So every day you know that you have many choices that you're confronted with. So some of these so-called choices, the outcome or the consequence may be so little, so minimal, you don't even see that much impact on you. But some of the decisions that you make can be so very impactful and so very life-changing. So you have to realize that part of it, because some of the choices that impact your life and others may impact now, and others may impact much, much later. So the choices is there, where you need to know what you want now and what you want later, right? Because they can be so impactful, even currently now, the outcome is there, or even as I said, it is a matter of many, many choices, and at the end of the day, you achieve what you really want to achieve. So again, sometimes if you do like what I say, the 1,000 steps, the every step, if you got any misstep, obviously you won't be that successful. Similarly with the choices, you won't have what you really want. If your choices are wrong in many ways, that will actually uh, bring you down from getting or achieving what you really want. Right here, they said most important number one is manage the big stuff. Right, it is easy to get sidetracked by insignificant issues in life, so you have to know what are the important things with you, with your life. You have to decide what it is, rather than you actually live in all those insignificant things, whereby then that insignificant things can be a lot of a big distraction to you, and you will not actually able to achieve the most important thing that you need to have. Example, like for a young person like you, you all, maybe the most important is with regard to personal development, with regard to career development, with regard to relationship, and at the end of the day, with regard to settling at the young age, at the age of 30, that you are already achieving what you really want to achieve, then you can move on actually to help others with regard to their life and give back to the community. So if you know how to manage the big stuff to start with, then you don't actually get distracted by the trivial stuff. All right, because that actually will uh, stop you from achieving better. Subsequently, there is another way, that is you must value, uh, because what you believe and what your value is, you have to make decision consistent with that, right? If you did not base on your values and your beliefs, possibly you actually may regret. Example, like if you're assertive enough to know what is right and what is wrong, But if you do not value that, if you do not apply that in your everyday life, so the choices may be very wrong. At times, you may be actually uh, sucked into more problem, more difficulties because you put aside your values. So that is important. Also, the other way is you must learn from the past because the experience that you have gone through and the experience that you've seen from others is actually a good lesson for you to learn. Right? You can identify the situation, and then you can make your so-called better choices by looking at the past experiences, and you learn based on currently how your response will be, maybe a better response when you face the same situation later in your life. Then the other thing is that you must know what you know, and you must also know what you don't know. So here, some people may be based on ego, they actually did not admit to their own so-called shortcomings. So here, you must have uh, seek advice, seek help from the expert. If you know what you know, that will be good. But if you know what you don't know, then you better find the answers from the person who can actually give you a better advice in term or a better input in terms of what you need to know. The other aspect is that keep the right perspective, view any issue, various angle, various perspective, look for the facts. What did the facts say? Then also ask your own intuition, how you feel about it. Then also ask your conscience, what is your conscience saying about that? So here we could say that now you listen well, you listen to every aspects of it. You listen to your heart, what your spiritual heart says. You listen to people around you. You listen to every aspect that is around that could make you at the end of the day determine the better choice. And also, in this case, do not procrastinate. So you need don't try to actually achieve things by trying to make it perfect. Sometimes, if you demand perfect, you won't be able to move forward. So you have to move and do what you think you need to do. What do you think is right to do? But beware that sometimes, if you are procrastinator, have a tendency that you are not able to make a proper choice. So once you decide to make once you have already made a decision, just work on it. Don't try to uh, question yourself again. Work on it first. Don't second guess yourself, right? So it will be a waste of time and energy if you start to question yourself again after you have made that choice. So make it work. Move forward. Look for all the answers. So these are the ways that you can do so that you achieve by making a proper choice with a good consequence or outcome. So are you ready to take charge of your life? So there are many ways. These are the 9 ways maybe you can do to take charge of your life. Number one, always be self-reliant. So obviously you can ask help from people, obviously, but never too quick to ask help from people because you need to determine or you need to actually determine your level of confidence. If you keep asking people for the answers, then maybe you are not confident yourself. So before asking people, try to do it yourself. So being a self-reliant person will get you or carry you far in the community, in your life and living. Because you are not dependent on others. You are independent. Obviously, you still have to have interdependent because life is not alone. You are not the only person do the life and living. You are in the community. So you have to interdepend with other people, but you have to be an independent person. So you have to know yourself, as I said earlier. You have to form your own ideas, your own priorities. Maybe you have your dreams. Try to actually make it work, make you think others know you better. Then in that case, it will actually make you actually stop from doing it because you are not actually believing in yourself. So that's why it's very important to know who you are. How to know yourself is sometimes also from other people who can tell you who you are. Because others, significant others, example, your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your guidance, your counselor, they may know you better. So you have to accept that fact. You must also find the right balance. You have to focus. Uh, just to be happy all the time, you may end up actually trying to, make other people happy, but not yourself. So this is the thing. In the principle-centered person, there are many principles that actually will make you difficult to be happy and difficult to achieve because it all depends on money, on people, on situation. So if your principle is based on all those things, it's very difficult to satisfy all the external factor that you are holding on to. So keep in mind that you is supposed to be focused on your own principle about self-love, self-appreciation, self-worth, and whatnot, right? And also you need to step out of your comfort zone. Basically, do something which is more challenging, build your confidence, and you have to make a decision. Look at your ability, and then usually don't try to do too big things so much. Try to take things in a small manner, so that easy to secure small wins, and then you can then progress to a more significant, bigger decision making. So this is important. So you must step out of your comfort zone. Quite a number of people that are there, when I talk to them, one of the things is that there is always a resistance to change because they are quite comfortable in the zone, so they don't want to challenge themselves more. And also listen to your conscience. Obviously, what your heart says is very important. Your level of so-called judgment, level of superego is very important. So your conscience must be clear. So don't just blindly follow people. Don't just follow people thoughts and people ideas. So always ask about how you look at it yourself. Set your bar high. Make yourself proud rather than try to look for others to give your the acceptance to you. Because you subsequently, if you wait for people to accept you, it will be very difficult because not everyone will be able to accept you well, right? And keep your ego in check. As I mentioned earlier, quite a number of times we actually rather quite egoist in nature. We thought that we are the only one who knows best. We thought we are the only one who's right. Then we try to compare ourselves with other people. So most important is actually compete with yourself, because if you then improve yourself, actually you are the one who win, right? It is not for the sake of other people. And know what you want and know what you don't know and know what you know. So this is another aspect because at the end of the day, you still need some guidance, you still need some help. Please don't shy away from seeking advice, seeking guidance, knowing ideas from expert outside around you. Right? If not, you won't be able to do it well. You may actually do it quite blind, and then when you do things blindly, obviously the outcome will be as much as good. And subsequently, you also trust your instinct, trust your gut feeling kind of a thing. Still listen to others, but trust yourself at the end of the day. So this is an area that you must take charge of yourself. Subsequently, why people make mistakes. Here there are 12 reasons why people repeat the same mistake. And reason number one is that you say that I already know how it is done. So that means there is no more room for learning. There's no more room for improvement. They thought they know it all. I think this is a very egoistic kind of attitude, whereby you think that you know well, you know everything well, but unfortunately you still get into trouble with the outcome. It indicate that actually you still have a lot to learn, right? Subsequently, the another reason is that I will never be in the situation again. You thought that once you have gone into the situation, it won't happen again, but true enough, actually you cannot actually say that it won't happen again. It probably will. So if getting to know that, then you must always be ready, especially you always expect the unexpected, so that once you are ready, you know how to actually deal with it. So if you say that it will never happen again in the same situation, this is where you sometimes get into trouble because the situation appear to be similar in nature, and your response appear to be similar like the previous response. You have never improved with that. And some people completely say that it won't matter anymore. So you believe that, failures are beyond your control. So even learning to deal with it is pointless. So I think it's a give up kind of attitude, basically. You will never progress if you have that kind of this attitude of it won't matter anyway, right? Or you can say that I don't have the time. Some people are too busy to think about and much less to learn from whatever their mistake is. So they say they don't have time. And this is another mistake that people are doing. They don't want to confront the situation that they are in and the shortcoming that they are actually having. So it's very important that you must give time. You must think about it. And when you say you are rarely wrong, that is obviously you are not a person who learn because you believe that you don't have any mistakes. That could be a very how should I say attitude that could bring a serious outcome whereby you would not be able to improve yourself well. And then you always sometimes say that you don't want feedback from people. So you put a question of what do they know? You keep actually questioning other people's perspective, other people's feedback, right? And that you don't want to accept your flaws, all right? And or you say that you don't have any flaws. So these are all things that actually will keep you having again and again making wrong choices. Then there is another element, possibly you say that no one ever told you. No one ever says things to you, whether you are right, whether you are wrong. So that's why you keep doing the same mistakes, because you said that you are aware of that. I guess it is not about no one who did not tell you, but I believe you are a loner. You actually don't like people to give you feedback, so you avoid people, you avoid a relationship and whatnot, right? And sometimes you also say that it looked good to you. Some folk has this weird sense of reality, right? Even though they make mistake, uh, they convince themselves otherwise. So they say, no, it is not a mistake. It's good to me, and that is where actually this is possibly the concept of denial, where you don't want to come to term about your shortcoming. Or some people put it to luck. Some people say, oh, that mistake was because of bad luck. So it is pointless to learn because it is just luck. So luck doesn't play any role here basically. You determine how it will end up with. So if you do it right, you will get it right. So there's no such thing actually. Luck or bad luck is the one that determines it. And then there's another mistake that people do is that I don't care how others did it. So I just do the way I do, the way I think I do best. So again, I mean, it stops you from learning, it stops you from getting better, improving and whatnot. So you don't want to apply the lesson that you have seen and you have learned or you have been told to. So you don't care, right, how others did it. So this is another important aspect. And the last reason that possibly can happen is that you say that you are too old to change, to learn a new way. So these people who are basically already has in a way uh, really so-called settled in just this one comfort zone that they don't want to improve further, despite even that comfort zone is not giving them much comfort as they want to. So this is the W's of life. So who you are is what make you special. So always believe that you are a special one. You have your own uniqueness. You have your own ability. You are not the same as any other people. All right. You don't just simply change yourself for others. So you must actually have a self-belief strongly with self-worth, self-love, self-appreciation. Only then it matters, right? And what lies ahead will always be a mystery. So don't afraid to explore it. And when life pushes you over, you push back harder. So that means you are a fighter. You know how to put things, how to fight, and how to actually achieve what you really want. But to know that, you must be, again, as I said, the key is you must be knowledgeable, you must be competent, you have good skills, you must learn all this. And then you must have a proper attitude. So these three aspects of life and living is very seriously important to all of us. Having the knowledge, having the skills, and having the proper attitude. And when there are choices to make, you make the one that you won't regret. So that's why it's good if you want to make any choices, seek clarification, seek advice, seek guidance, ask from people before you decide these choices. There are sometimes choices have to make it being immediate to make the choices. So you have to know already at that point of a time what will be the best for you, right? Why thing happen will never be certain. Take it in a stride and move forward. So never regret what has happened. Things can happen without you understanding why it happened, but just be bold enough and move forward. So these are all the slides that I have for tonight. So I hope we can discuss about on this aspect. And so I will stop my sharing now, and then I'll pass over to Felicia for further discussion. Okay, Felicia, back to you.
Right. Thank you, Prof. So I think we have a good sharing today. I think yes. I think I like to start off with like a happiness. It's a choice. It's also an inside job more than what we get from others. You know, I mean, we always use the expression like, "Oh, you make me happy," or "This make me happy." It's actually, I think mostly it's from the inside, right, rather than it being validated from the outside. So I think your sharing today, I think really, I would say your sharing tonight really emphasize on that. And yeah, and I like to start out with that. Um, so for maybe one of the questions is that how do people, because sometimes we are caught up in unhappiness because maybe due to a situation, nowadays with pandemic, or instead of staying at home we are feeling stuck at home, or maybe in terms of circumstances, and not unfavorable circumstances, so to speak. So how does one shift their mindset?
Okay, I think the most important question here is that how you perceive the situation around you. Example, the stimulus, whether it is a stressor, whether thing that actually will disturb your emotion. So basically, all these you need to understand how you respond to it. If you respond it accordingly to start with, the response must be you are not actually disturbed or distressed by whatever the situation is, because you are the only one who allow things to happen to you.
Hmm.
You determine whether it will go positive or it will go negative. So there could be a lot of situation whereby, yes, true, it hurts you. Yes, true, it actually distress you. But that hurts and distress, the level, the degree, is all up to you how you want to look at it. You
Right.
can, some people who has a very little tolerance, very poor tolerance, even a similar issues based on other people who have high tolerance, that person only feel the distress maybe 3 out of 10 in the term of the grade of the stress. But for you, it become 9 or 10 out of 10. So it's all depend on how you perceive it and how you put your understanding towards that. So this is where the choice is right now. If that happen in front of you, example like right now, the issue of MCO, where you are stuck with people that you don't like. You are stuck with people that actually, in a way, will distress you somehow. Somehow just simply want to antagonize with you, causing you to, you can't escape, you can't run away from the situation. But actually, you can actually block yourself with the filter mechanism that is proper, the ego defense mechanism that is mature, the coping mechanism, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind kind of a thing. You can decide what you want to use. And that's where I say that the choices is yours. So if you keep saying that I want to use my emotion more than my thinking, so the choice is yours. And the emotion can be a negative emotion as compared to a positive. Example, like, so a lot of people are talking about sometime when you're on the road, somebody just cut you, the car come in front of you in a very manner that actually could endanger yourself and things like that. There's two ways to look at it. One way is you are very forgiving. You say that, okay, maybe he has some emergency he need to attend to, so you don't get and drag yourself into the emotional state where you feel so bad that it disturbs your the whole way subsequently you're driving. You keep having this emotion negative in nature that could later, not because of him anymore that cut your line or your lane, but it is because of you who have this kind of a choice in your emotion that actually could hurt you later while you're driving, and you may actually get into mistakes. You may do a lot of silly things because your mind is no more there. So
Mm.
the choice is yours. So I believe you need to be strong enough to be able to look at the options that you have. Because sometimes the option can be, yes, it appears to be very clear. I have to be angry. I have to be, you know, uh, respond this way, which is, at least I must win the fight. I must win the quarrel. So, but that is not a good choice because if you fight with a fool, you become the worst fool. So, if you know that, then you stay back and you say, okay, maybe that is not the best choice to do. So
Mm.
I think there are many situations that people did not realize that. So that's why when I'll give you all possibly the Imam Ghazali video on the spiritual heart. In the spiritual heart of it, there is four part of it, and one part is the angel heart,
Mm.
but there's another three part that is the devil heart,
Mm.
which about the desire, which about the eating, which about the satisfaction,
Mm.
gratifying, and things of that nature. So if you allow your actually the devil heart kind of a thing overtake you, and you push aside your intellectual, your thinking kind of a thing, so obviously you will end up into trouble.
Mm.
But now if your angel heart is the one who's managing you, and then with the angel heart that is there, and that is coupled up with your intellectual, so I think you can win this desire to be angry, to be aggressive, to hurt yourself in a way. Indirectly, you may thinking that you win the fight, but actually you still lose in many ways.
Yep.
You may hurt yourself into it. So I think it depends on how you actually have. This is what at the end of the day I call it the mindset.
Okay, so two things I took take away from your explanation is that first we must take ownership that it is at the end our choice whether we feel happy or unhappy regardless of that person or that situation. Taking ownership is very important. Own up, and a lot of times where we also I feel we sweep it under the carpet. I think generally I think speaking for not only men or women, maybe I can speak for women in that sense. We use the word tolerate, right? So we
Mm,
maybe we ignore the red flags.
mm,
So we said, okay, maybe this is just something that uneasy feeling, so I'm just gonna put it aside, put it aside, put it aside, until to the point because we did not face it, we sort of explode and then we blame it on other things and then we throw everything out. So I think this is like a normal defense mechanism.
mm,
And the second thing I think from you, what you said just now, yeah, it's like when you know that your emotional is very important to center again. It could be spiritual, it could be spiritual, using our own personal belief and religion, meditate, pray for guidance, and use that, because that's why I think human are the most intelligent species, right? So
yeah,
we are the only creature on earth I feel that is given choice. So whether it's a not say good or bad, I don't think there is a good or bad choice. It's like choice. We need to face the consequence, whether it is benefiting us or whether we learn something from it. I don't think we lose from it. Either you win or you learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very good attitude.
Hmm.
Just based on the ego defense mechanism, I just want to highlight. I you never said this ego defense mechanism. There is two ego defense mechanism. That is immature or neurotic. We call it repression or suppression. Sometimes you just suppress it, and that's why you say it's sweeping under the carpet. So you cannot suppress it. You must actually express it, release it out, work on it.
Hmm.
So sometimes we don't realize we even repress it. Sometimes we suppress it. I guess
Hmm.
that is not a good way. That's where people can still see the heat if you push things all under the carpet.
Yeah.
So that means you're getting more and more trouble with that. So I think
Mm.
that is important also to understand.
Yep. Yeah, and I've also feel I think because I was seeing a lot of videos and reading a lot of books, especially during articles during the pandemic. Now that we are going to be extended even a bit longer. So yeah, I realized that instead of using the word I'm angry or I'm frustrated, um, we should be able to communicate, especially I think when we are living, when we are with ourselves. It's not to say that living with a family or with few people is is more frustrating than a person who's like probably staying alone. I think there's also two types of situation that maybe you can help to actually not say weigh the pros and cons. So by
Mm,
living alone, yeah, you have no choice but to face it, do self-reflection, because you're facing four walls, or you're facing just you have to be solitude. No, there's no there is no so-called like a person that you can turn to and say and ask for things, physically. Virtually we can still connect. So for people who probably live with each other, probably children and parents, or partners, or husband and wife, and things like that, I think it's very important for both parties to be able to express, not like, oh, why didn't you do this, or why did you do that, rather express in a way to it's very important to express emotionally, so that you let that person know how you feel, rather than like either you suppress it or you explode in that sense. I think that is a quite a common thing, I think, happening.
mm,
And during I mean, these are very like maybe a typical day to day kind of thing that we feel that is part and parcel of
yeah.
being in a very uncertain time. But also this has other complications, like because domestic violence has been on the rise, or it could be some sort of abuse. It could be emotional abuse, it could be verbal abuse, it could be actually physical abuse as well. So that is very important, why I think all these topics throughout the sessions, people that can access to it will be good, because they get to understand themselves a little bit more. By doing so, we can work on it, and yeah, we can be better version of ourselves, and we can bring out better from the other person as well, from either your family members or your friends and things like that. So I think it's
Eh,
important.
It's only important for us to take note is that it takes two to actually make it work. As I said, so unfortunately, sometimes we want to make it work, but the other party doesn't want to make it work.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that situation when you are stuck with the other party?
Mm,
You like it or not, you can't escape from that person. You
mm,
have to be facing that person every day. So
mm,
that could be a big issue here. So
mm.
usually within the family, sometimes we need to look for who will be our supporter,
Yeah.
who will be our foe, and if we have a supporter, we click with a supporter who can be then, if he is a supporter, whether he can be the buffer to actually get us to be together with our foe or with the one that is not with us, against us, because we need to use this person to be the buffer to actually mitigate the situation. But all this is very important, each and every one of us, whether we like it or not in this MCO situation, every one of us must have insight how we contribute to the problem. We cannot just point fingers saying that I am always right, you are the only one who's wrong, because that is called selfishness. That is called egoistic kind of a person who don't care about people around, because every person around you are very significant people. Whether you like it or not, if you break that so-called relationship, you'll never be able to get it back very well. So these are the issues. Unfortunately, true enough, when people doesn't want to be better, they will hide away, they will shy away. Nobody can talk to them. Nobody can say something. So that's why I said I will look for people who can help me out to become the buffer, who can actually in my so-called session with client, I would look for these co-therapies of mine in the home who can actually mitigate, who can help me out to be my representative back at home. So I think that is important. It is not easy said, but it's not easy to do. Yeah, because
Yeah.
people have their own ego and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a friend. Sometimes you cannot, you have to bounce back energy, and that's why friends are there for your support. Who you can, who will reserve judgment in that sense. Who will, be more objective. Yeah, so I have friends that had, come to me, and also I went to them for support, and I realized during this time, they have been a very good support system for myself. And yeah, and sometimes when you are playing the game, right, they say, you can't see, there's always a blind spot, and you always want to go head on, like, there's a conflict. And when you able to be a bit more vulnerable and you be able to share it out, I think that already lift that half of the burden. But of course, there is certain things that you have to also stay mindful that you can't just be a verbal diarrhea, and also you need to know your boundaries as well, because as much as you want. So if it gets a little bit more personal, and you know that you need to seek help, it's good to reach out to professionals like you, as for mental health support. And and if it comes to like eating healthy and exercise, they can come to us for like fitness and wellness coaching. So of course, if my because I was just having this conversation with my friend. uh they have a bunch of few ladies working out together. And yeah, they are not the type that they will actually go to a professional coach, probably because they're intimidated by it. I mean, I assume also, when let's say somebody who's like having some troubles, uh they would most likely not to go to a professional, they will go to their friend, or go online to search for information, right? So that's the first thing. So yeah, so they've been working out together, and then they start asking out questions like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Can I eat this? Can I not eat that? And things like that. So when that happened, this person, who is obviously just a facilitator, but she's not a professional in that sense. So she has to rely on Google and rely on the internet. So this gives me a very good feedback, because these are the things that we know, that people are actually, how do I put it? People are actually, like, they are very intimidated because they're scared of being opening up to other people, but they're very open to their own friends, that will probably, in their very intimate circle. So it is good for us to learn all these things, because we are also that friend sometimes, or we confide in those friends sometimes. So yeah, so it's very important for us to know, for us as professionals in our own, or experts in our own field. It's very important to be able to reach out and hear what the market wants and needs. Yeah, so then we can actually really do our job in the community.
Well, I guess you don't need to actually just rely on professional. All of us can become para-professional. Okay, we call it para, helpers. That means we learn, we have some knowledge, we have some skill. So all of us then become a better friend because we know how to actually help people around us.
True, true. Yeah. So I think with this session tonight, it's also a very good reminder for us to, uh, w- sometimes it may not be something that we are going through, but knowing this knowledge and being a bit more understanding about, things that our people around us may be going through, we can also be that support for them. And yeah, I think when you learn something, sometimes you'll be able to apply on your own lives as well. Yeah, so is there any questions from the floor? Perhaps we can open up for one or two questions, because we are almost at the end already. Last 10 minutes.
Prof, I want to ask you something. They say not making a choice is also a choice. Okay, this is very common, right? So when a person is undecisive, do not do we they are not making a choice, they are status quo. Now, how can we uh, uh, move on, to clear the air?
Okay, thank you, Francis. I think the question is that, okay, what is the goal or the outcome to that particular person? What do they really want? We have to actually respect that person. If that person say, I just want to be in this situation, I don't want to change anything. Now the second question is that, do you feel good about being in this particular status quo state, in that sense, where you don't have any further advance? You still have a similar problem. You think appears to be living in that similar problem. So we need to clarify with that person how he live and look into it. If there is any element of he's not happy with it, or he wants to make a difference, then he has to make a choice. Because not making a choice doesn't make any progress. So this is where we call educate the person, giving that person insight and telling that you will never move forward if you decide to just stay put without making decision. So some people don't realize that they actually are ways actually to get better. So you show them, if you make this kind of, sometimes you can give them example. Okay, if you decide this way, this is how it will end up. If you decide the other way, it will end up this way. And so
Okay.
you can give them actually options. You
Yeah.
can give them perspective. Then you'll be surprised. Actually, quite a number of them, they want to see all the avenues, as I said, the different vantage point. Whatever the point that you can show them, try to actually show them, educate them, giving them
Okay.
as much
Good.
insight as you can.
Fine. Very good. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Right. I think we have a good uh, coverage today. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, we are here to support having this platform to be able to, say certain or touch certain topics that may actually help you, help everybody, even including ourselves. The more ideas that we exchange, um, I think we would be able to get more ideas, more different perspective and angle. Yeah,
Mm,
and what are the things that we can focus on? Making the right decision is always about, or right choices is about feeling at peace in our heart,
mm,
and also you should feel yeah, very calm, very peaceful,
mm.
and you take it one step at a time. Be it your on the mental health side of it or physical part of it, like people always one of the questions that crop up actually, about motivation. Maybe next week, maybe I can, contribute on a topic called motivation. People
Okay.
always talk about, yeah, people always talk about um how do you feel so motivated every single day? Actually, truthfully, nobody feels motivated. Nobody feels motivated to actually make any right decision. But the thing is right, but whether you want to take it or not, right? Like how Coach
Mm,
Francis was saying that not making a decision is also making a decision.
yeah.
So let's say we start by, I think, yeah, since making the right decision, right? If you make this decision, write three things that you feel about making this decision. Or in terms of motivation, um, list down, for example, you know that exercise is important, okay, but not everybody, including myself, I don't feel motivated to exercise every single day, but I still do it
Mm,
because of how it makes me feel. Because I know after I sweat and after I move my body, I feel much, much better. So if you are a person who cannot do a 1 hour exercise, you can start off with like putting on your exercise clothes, do a bit of stretching for 5 minutes. And if let's say you feel like it, continue. If you don't, just stop at 5 minutes. So
uh,
usually 99% people will continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the key for motivation or self motivation
Mm-hmm.
is actually the passion that you have to achieve something, or to
Mm,
gain something,
mm,
or to reach to something, the
mm,
goal or whatever it is. Uh, you see, you'll be surprised when somebody is really in love, very passionate about what they want to do.
mm.
Nobody can stop them. No one, even so-called, they love to do the wrong thing. Even though the person who says rightly about that is wrong, they continue doing the wrong thing because they are very passionate about doing it. So that is the key. You must reach to the level of you love it so much, because passion, the definition of passion is actually you reach a level whereby you desire to actually feel the pain,
Mm.
the desire to suffer. Actually,
Mm.
that is the definition of passion. So that's
Okay.
why you can see a lot of people who blindly passionate about things, they don't care. They
Yeah.
just desire to do it. So if somebody has a goal, so like for me, the only thing maybe that make me look into my health more desireful to be better is maybe after I got my leg chopped off, for being taking the risk of not looking into my diabetic very well. So only then I realized, okay, it's a stop. I must make it serious,
Yep.
because some people they need to that level,
Yeah.
because that will only then stop them
Yeah.
from taking risks, doing things that
Mm.
is not right.
Yeah. Yeah. Next week, I will share a little bit more on that. Motivation, how to set your motivation for 2021, especially covering, the fitness part of it, because now that we're
Yes.
going to live in a new norm, it's very important to keep your immune system up. For that reason, we can't avoid people forever. We can't avoid going out from a house forever, right? So the key is that we turn fear and crisis into action. So that would be a good sneak preview for next week.
Okay.
Since we are still hot in January, meaning we are still hot in making our goals and intentions, setting it for 2021. It could be finally making time for yourself, making space. But how do you get it started? How do you actually feel motivated? Yeah. So you can follow us on Facebook, Fit Unit. And this is also being broadcasted to my own coaching page, which is Felicia Wong Lifestyle Coach on Facebook. We're all linked on Instagram. This video will be up on YouTube channel as well, and the links will be shared in our WhatsApp group. So yeah, be our little friends community. To help out each other to share this good education platform. You can reach out to us for any consultation or coaching services. Prof. Muhammad, Coach Francis, based in Ipoh, and I'm based in KL. But because it's a virtual thing right now, so it is you can be from anywhere. You can reach out to us, and we work on the next step. So yep. So thank you, everybody. Thank you
Right.
for
Thank you. Thank
your
you so much.
Thank you very
participant
much.
tonight.
Thank you.
And looking forward. Yes, Noreen. Yeah, well, very regular. Yeah. So thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's. Can everybody switch on their cameras so that maybe we can take a group photo, group selfie.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who else? Fatin Adiba, and then I think we have also Puan Aida. Yeah, I think it's good because while we are physically distancing, I think we should be able to put a name, put a face to the name. Yeah, I think it's good because at the end of the day, this is how I think we keep our ourselves more we build that relationship. I feel that online works wonders, and yeah. So okay, Fatin Adiba, are you around? It's okay, Ponaida, maybe you can join us next time. Yay. All right. Okay, give me your biggest smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, wait, let me check.
All right.
All right, let me see. So I will post this on our WhatsApp group, okay?
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
then
Thank you.
yes, so let's
Thank
call it a
you.
night.
Thank
Have a
you,
good
everybody.
rest and try to
Thank
get
you.
a good
you.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Okay, so
Thank you,
good night,
Coach.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good rest.
Yep.
Bye.
Good day. Bye.